Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. I cannot believe we are in the midpoint of February and the weather is delightful outside. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow. And today we're going north of the border with a Zoom interview. I have a photographer up there, a self-employed photographer. He takes all kinds of cool pictures, and it's his life, and we're going to talk to him. But before I do, I've got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we got Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We got Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We got South Shore Market in Pembroke. We got Crazy Axe's Rec Center in Hanover. We got Hairway to Heaven in Norwell. We got Town Brook Service Auto Repair in Plymouth. They're in Newark. We got New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We got Carver Jewelers Incorporated, Ronald Allen Liley, Delano Goldsmiths right here in the building. We got good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson right up the road on Route 58. We got Stevie's Pizza in Plymouth. They're in Newark. We got Lisa's Hair Studio in Plymouth. We got Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We got Rodney's Kitchen in Halifax. We got Ocean Auto Repair and Service Incorporated in Marshfield. We got Coffee Milano Cafe in Middleborough. They're in Newark. We got the Gunrunner LLC, the Second Amendment Freedom Store in Middleborough, and we got DNS Auto Works in Abington. I want to thank you guys very much. And now on that note, I'll introduce Mr. Ryan Vezina. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's how you say it. Thank you.
That I believe is a hockey trophy, the Vezina Trophy for the best.
It actually is. Yeah, no, I learned that when I was younger. I heard about that. I'm not really a huge hockey person personally, but I heard about the trophy and I'm like, oh dang, I must be pretty great if I'm a trophy.
You probably have some Canadian blood in you, and you named after someone that was a great hockey goalie, maybe in the 19th century or the early 20th century. It's a possibility. They have to name those trophies after people that earn the name for some reason. But we're focusing on you today. So, Ryan, thank you for doing my show. I know you contacted me recently, and we talked about setting up this interview, and now here we are. So, you told me you were a rapper at first, you were a musician, and now you just
I don't do any rap. I have a lot of friends who are musicians.
I know that. I don't know them.
But I mainly am a photographer. I picked up photography about 4 years ago.
Okay.
I went through a pretty bad accident, so it kind of gave me a big perspective on life. When you go through some hard times, things can give you different perspective. So I picked up photography as a way to kind of cope at first, and it turned into something that I happen to be really good at it. And I'm turned really passionate about photography because when you look at life through the eyes of a camera, you can see things for all the little details that you would miss if you weren't looking through a camera. Every day, people are running through the city doing their things, focusing on what they need to do in their daily routine. But people are looking through a camera, and all you see is what's in the camera, what's in your lens.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean, it is an art form after all. And I know that now, were you educated in photography at school at all in any capacity, either, public school or
college? The schools I went to I actually have autism. So
Me too.
I went to some. Oh, really?
So that's awesome. Hey, congratulations. High five. Yeah, all right.
Asperger's syndrome. And the school I went to, none of them really delved into some of that stuff. Would have been really cool. We had a little bit of computer stuff, but nothing around the photography area. So I actually just picked this up. Tried to self-taught myself it mostly. I have some friends that have given me tips and tricks and stuff, but mostly I kind of self-taught myself.
The thing about us people with autism is that the one thing we can do is we can focus on stuff because we have OCD, and sometimes it enables us to refine certain skills that we might not be able to otherwise. People that think that just don't bother to think about what they're doing, but we overthink stuff, and sometimes it can be a detriment, and sometimes it can be an advantage. And in this case, it's an advantage. But I'm gonna hunch it took a while. I mean, you didn't just pick it up immediately, or did you? How did that? How long? How many? How long did it take you to do it? To get going?
It probably took me about a year to get I practice it for like a year. You know, I
Okay,
got a camera right before my trip to Arizona, which is
okay,
where some of my favorite personal photos are from because the scenery out there is beautiful. The desert
right,
is absolutely amazing. People think the desert just some desert wasteland, you know, but there's a lot of beautiful gems out there out
yeah,
west. So I first got the camera right before that trip. Took some photos and really got into the nature stuff first.
okay,
I had some friends that were musicians, and I knew some people that were in the industry in Maine as well
okay,
as New Hampshire.
yep.
And
What's the
I
two?
knew Kenny of Full Blast Booking, who
Okay,
tours all over New England.
okay. So are you like the photographer for these bands? Is that it?
I go photograph. I take photographs wherever people really need me. Like, you
Okay,
know, if
that's awesome.
someone I don't really stick to any one thing. I like to take photos of everything. So
Right, okay, but I mean, do the bands hire you out for this? It sounds like they do.
yeah, some of them do. I mean, I also just go to shows sometimes to practice photography, but
Okay, but
most of
obviously,
the times I work with the bands directly.
okay. Now let's talk about. I do this with every guest. I want to find out what you were like as a kid. You don't look too old. You don't look like mid-20s at that, if that.
Thank
Um,
you. I'm 25, but
all right, I got it. I nailed it.
I'll take it, man.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good age. You got plenty of good living to do.
Yeah.
So what did you aspire to? Did you grow up in New Hampshire? Were you living there all your life?
I grew
Oh,
up
no,
around New Hampshire. Yeah.
you were in Arizona though. You lived out there.
No, I didn't live out in Arizona. I went there for like a month or two. I have family out there,
You
so
have
but they
family out
moved
there.
out
Okay.
there from New England. So
Okay.
a lot of my family is from Massachusetts, but I'm born in Nashua, New Hampshire,
Oh, you were okay. Okay.
but
Yeah.
I grew up in Franklin, New Hampshire. I only spent probably like a couple months living in Nashua before I moved to Franklin.
So where you live, is it really? I mean, you really in Sticksville up there?
No, I'm in the city now,
City,
Concord.
yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. Concord, the capital,
yeah, I'm in the capital.
the one and only. Okay. Yeah. All right. So as a kid, what did you do? What were you like? I know, if you're autistic and when you're a kid, it can be tough because
Yeah,
people,
no, I struggled a lot as a kid,
yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
having autism, and also big problem for me was I wasn't diagnosed until I was misdiagnosed with bipolar, which is another big issue around
I
mental
know. I
health.
have a friend who's very
People,
bipolar, and if you're bipolar, you're delusional, and you probably are not
yeah,
delusional.
no,
And
I have Asperger's syndrome, which is because my mother has bipolar.
okay,
They kind of just slapped that diagnosis on me,
yeah,
sadly, but that
that's not
just
right. That's not right
happens
because
sadly sometimes.
everybody's different. I mean, people like us, sometimes our social skills are a little, lacking, and that happens. We tend to. I mean, I know I do. I have to admit, it's hard work to do the show, to be able to talk to people in social situations.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do it on.
And good on you for doing that because that's huge. You know,
It is.
people with autism, a lot of the times I feel like they get misjudged because socially we're not always
Awkward is what we are,
we
but
struggle in the social department, but other parts of our brain make up for that.
exactly.
So if a person who is on the spectrum
Yeah,
focuses and really puts their mind to something, they can achieve really amazing things.
that's right. We both have done that.
People
Yeah.
people say Thomas Edison was on the spectrum.
Yeah. So I think Einstein was too.
Yeah,
Yeah. So look what
the
they've.
greatest people in history have actually been on the spectrum, and it's just it's not something people talk about because
Well, I know. Well,
it should be
when you're a kid and you have it, or at least, I mean, you got to remember, we're not of the same generation. So when I grew up in the 60s, I was almost committed a couple of times because my parents didn't know what to do. They're sending me to all these shrinks to tell them I'm psycho. People thought I was
that's
challenge, that kind of thing. At least when you were a kid, by that time they learned, the professionals had learned a little more about it, and they
yeah.
deal with it.
They've definitely evolved in that department over the years. I mean, 100 years ago, mental health was looked at as some sort of disease. So
Totally, yeah. And
sadly, that's science.
outcasts for the rest of our lives, but it's not the case anymore. All right, that's great. So you started. What kind of camera do you have?
I have a Lumix Panasonic.
Never heard. Oh, I've heard of a Panasonic. I've never heard of a
Yeah,
Lumix.
it's a Lumix though.
Do
That's
you do
just the
your own?
brand of it.
Is it a digital, or do you do your own developing in the
Uh,
dark?
it's it's digital. No, I want to do that at some point. I don't currently have the knowledge or resources to do any like Lightroom type stuff, but
Okay.
I'm actually going to be going to college in uh the fall. So
Where?
I'm learning graphic art and media design, SNHU,
Oh,
Southern New
okay.
Hampshire
Yeah, I know.
University.
So I know someone that goes there. She loves it. It's a great
Yeah,
school.
no, I've toured it a few times and it looks like an amazing campus and they seem like really understanding about accepting different people. So that's one of the things I kind of appreciate about it. And they
Okay.
have a really good graphic art and media design program from what I've seen. So going there would be huge and hopefully I can get learn something around Lightroom
Well, the great
around
thing,
that.
I mean, you know what it is. It's great that you're willing to learn more, even though you probably have it down, and that's important because I know if someone with autism, you get impatient if you think you want to
Mhm.
master everything that you can master without any
Oh yeah.
any obstacles or barriers that you have to overcome to
And
get
a
to
lot
what
of the times we struggle to accept any help. So
exactly. Don't I
like we
know?
want to do things our way so we can get it done and be able to feel proud of what we're doing, which honestly is a great thing to be honest. If, in the grand scheme of things, like being proud of your work and wanting to do things to the best of your ability is what we should all be doing. So
Absolutely. So so I take it you're self-employed as a photographer. Do you have your like name of your business that you
yeah, I the name of my business is Gara Films.
okay.
I recently I originally started off as Gara's Granite Photography, but I
Okay.
kind of changed the name to Gara Films. For one, it's shorter, and for two, I also do recording as well. So I
Video stuff?
yeah, I do video stuff, not as much as I do photography, but I'm trying to get really big into that because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to do music videos and stuff like that soon. So, yeah, one of the things that they're going to be teaching me actually in graphic art and media design school is making commercials, making websites, making like animated stuff. Like there's all sorts of stuff that they can teach me there that I can utilize to master my craft and not really master it, I wouldn't say, because I don't really feel like people can truly master something. If you can always learn more, are you really mastering something?
Right. That's true. I know. Look, that's absolutely right. I've done so many different things, and I wrote a book when I was in my 40s and or 30s, actually, into my 40s in the 90s. And it took me a lot of years, and I had to go to college too and learn like good comp and lit skills and everything. And the book sold pretty well, but I did it by door to door, but I still did okay. And now the show. So obviously, right now I feel I've reached the pinnacle of success. That hopefully, if that doesn't mean I can't learn more and get better at whatever I'm doing or do something else at some point.
Yeah.
All right. So how do people find you? And how?
I use Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
I mean, my number is attached to my Facebook as well.
Okay. Right.
I recently installed a TikTok
Yep.
to make that to because I also do canvas art as well. I take some well, I don't make canvas art, I should rephrase that. I take
Hey.
photos that I've take photos that I've done
Yeah.
and I turn them into canvases. So
Okay.
I like frame my work and
Wow.
I sell those as a way to help me get camera supplies and afford touring and shows like that.
Okay. All right. Now, do you well, what does a regular work week look like for you? I mean, you have like schedules. Yeah, are you scheduled to, work with any people? Do you ever do like portrait shots of children like they do in department stores, anything like that? Or does anyone ever ask for that? Or weddings or anything like that and personal stuff?
I have done family photo shoots as well as pretty much live music, do
Right.
nature, but I pretty much do anything, but I haven't done any weddings as of now.
Well, you
I
have it.
haven't really done any like people haven't asked me to like do portraits for like a store or anything,
Okay.
but it's something I would be open to doing.
Of course. Yeah.
Like that's all stuff I want to do. That's all things that are very much going to happen in the future, I think so. But
weddings are cute.
I've done like family photo shoots and personal photo shoots, and you know, people, whatever people want. I've done horses actually.
Okay,
I've worked with the farm, and I've taken horses photos of the farm.
okay, that must be nice. I mean, well, let's talk about now. We're going to upload some pictures that you took. Talk about the ones that we're going to look at. So
Okay.
while you're narrating them, we can look at them.
Yeah, sounds great.
Go ahead. Just describe them as you see them, and then when the show is done, they'll be up to be observed by the people viewing the show.
Okay.
So go ahead, describe your pictures.
I don't see anything right now.
Well, I know, but you know the pictures you uploaded, right?
Oh, do you want them in a certain order?
Well, I mean, do you know the order that you emailed them to the TV station? Because what I'm going to say to you is,
Sorry, I thought they were gonna pop up on.
no, they'll pop up when the show's edited. But right now, you got to describe them, and then that's when they'll pop up.
All right, yeah, no, my mistake. I can do
Okay.
that really quick.
It's all right, misunderstanding. It's
So
easy.
the first one is the Afro Man photo,
Okay,
I believe, with the guitar, correct?
okay. I'm not seeing it. Just tell me.
Okay. So this photo I did in November, in the Goat in Manchester, New Hampshire. Afro Man was on tour, and I
Okay.
actually know someone who had just recently toured with Afro Man, and his name is Caleb Wildcard and Lion Main.
Okay.
They're both EDM hip hop artists
Okay.
from Oregon,
Okay.
Portland, Oregon, and they're both awesome. And they were recently touring with him, so I happened to stop out there since he was nearby and took some photos of him. And personally, I thought they came out really well.
Okay.
The second photo is CL Smooth.
Okay.
Recently, I was touring with CL Smooth on
that
Full
another
Blast
rapper?
Booking.
No,
Yes.
hold up a second. I have a question. When you say you were touring, you mean no, you don't perform the music. You're talking about taking pictures of the bands. Is that what you
Yeah.
mean?
I'm
Okay,
on the tour taking photos of the band.
Got it. Okay.
This is CL Smooth. He was mentioned in Eminem's Hall of Fame induction speech.
Okay. Oh,
When he got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of
big
Fame.
deal. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's a pretty big deal.
Awesome. Wow. Good for you.
I took a photo of him on that tour, and that tour is about mental health. One of the greatest
Okay.
things I love about doing that tour is Full Blast Booking, partnerships with Mental Health Connecticut.
Okay. Is that how you did it in Connecticut? Is that what you
No,
did?
this tour goes all through New England, but
Okay.
it also stops in Connecticut as well. Yeah,
Okay.
but in this tour we did. I only went to the Maine and New Hampshire, the two shows, but
Okay.
the tour goes all through New England, as well as New York. They have some shows in New York as well.
Okay. Did you go to New York too?
No, I didn't, but I actually did. I did on the different tour, not this tour, but
I got you.
tour that
Okay.
just started. I'll talk about that shortly.
All right. Third picture.
This is a castle that was built into the rocks because if I'm not mistaken, out in Arizona, long time ago, they believed there was like big creatures down on the ground.
Okay.
It was probably like dinosaur era, but
Right.
obviously these weren't built back then. It was built into the side of the rock.
Okay. Kind of like Mount Rushmore, only
They,
creatures.
yeah,
Okay.
for people
Wow.
that live in there, and people lived in there, and it was kind of like their protection from any big creatures that were down on the ground.
That's pretty good. You got an eye for it, and obviously you've done your research to know the history.
Yeah, whenever I go to like national park stuff, I do look at all the plates and stuff. They have information plates, but
Right.
if I don't, I try to research as much as I can when I can. Just knowing about new stuff always intrigues me. So
Of course. Me too. Okay.
this is Red. the fourth picture here is Dread Buffalo. I did photography for them in a festival in Massachusetts, actually.
Okay.
I forget the name of the town. It was really northern Massachusetts.
Okay.
And the festival was Croptoberfest. It was actually in October of 2022.
Okay.
And
well,
yeah, I did photography there, and I applied for a photography pass and all that, and joined. Originally, I went there for Chris Webby, who is a big inspiration to me when I was starting off my photography and beforehand.
Okay.
He helped me through a lot.
Is he a photographer? Is he a major photographer, Chris Webby?
No, he's an artist, but
okay.
His music helped me through a lot of hard times.
Okay. Wow. Great. Okay. All right. What's the next one?
East Cali is the artist in this one. He is one of the artists that was recently on the Full Blast booking tour.
Okay.
And I worked with him a little bit and got to know him for 5 days because I recently toured with Raw Digga, who's an artist out of Brooklyn, New York.
Yep.
And she used to be in a hip hop group with Busta Rhymes.
Okay. Wow. These are pretty big people that you're working with.
Yeah, no, they're all great, very amazing people too, which is, just because people think sometimes when people are big, they're kind of not nice people, but if you get to know people.
Well, you obviously provide pretty good service to them. All right.
I try my best, always learning. This next shot is out in New Hampshire. I took a nature shot, and I was on a hike, and I saw the way the roots and rocks were placed really intrigued me.
Okay.
The way the mold, moss, my bad.
Right.
The moss was growing on the trees and the rocks in the photos really captured an amazing shot. And the way the logs were placed as well almost kind of came off like it was a staircase.
Wow, yeah, that's New Hampshire. That's definitely that's the raw nature of New Hampshire. You got to love that.
Oh yeah, New Hampshire has so many great, beautiful gems.
My favorite go-to state to watch. All right, what else you got? Next one.
This next photo was actually at the top of the same hike that I took the last one.
Okay.
I just liked how the ripples were captured in really great detail and each little part of the water.
Yep.
It's at the top of the mountain. There's this pond,
right,
and waterfall that goes all the way down the mountain. This is a good, decent sized hike too. This is up in the Franconia Notch. So
who needs Niagara Falls when you got it right there? Not the Niagara Falls is beautiful too. Okay, all right, let's wrap up. Okay, that's great. Okay, so keep going. Let's finish them up, and then
next one is Dread Buffalo again. Okay. I'm not going to take too much on her, but that's the lead vocalist of Dread Buffalo.
Okay.
The next shot I did was a shot from the Grand Canyon in Arizona.
Okay. Sweet. That's probably going to be easily recognizable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's only one Grand Canyon that I know of, and that's it. The one you're talking about.
That's true. Okay. The next shot I have here is of Chris Webby, who I was just talking about. He's a major inspiration.
Okay.
And that was at the same festival that I did Dread Buffalo at.
Gotcha. Who's the lead singer of that Red Buffalo? What's her name? Do you know?
No, not off the top of my head.
No problem. Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of names and they jumble up.
I know. Me too. Okay. All right.
But yeah, that festival was awesome. Chris Webby, who is a huge inspiration to me when I before I even started up photography, he helped me out through a lot of hard times with his music, and that I got to do photography for him side stage because I knew a buddy who had just recently toured with him. So
okay, and, all right. How many pictures do you have left now?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, guess what? Like I said, we're down to the final 5 minutes. Great job. I hope you had fun with me. And we
Yeah,
show-
no, it's a great time. Thank you for having me on and letting me talk about my photography.
Yeah, happy to have you on. Those pictures that we just talked about, you uploaded them in the order that you described them, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that Chris shouldn't have any trouble,
Awesome.
editing them in at when you described them. Okay, all right. Well, before we wrap the show up, do you want to give shouts out to people real quick that you want to, and then we'll wrap it up with my music the way we began it.
Well, shout out to Chris Webby for inspiring me with his music to push back. There's a certain song actually that helps you push back through your disabilities and follow your dreams. He has a lot of great music that kind of has that sort of morale to it. Like
Yep.
you can put ADHD is the name of the song, actually.
Yep, just the opposite of what I have, I guess, which is OCD, but okay. Okay. All right. So that's all right. So you can, the shouts out are great. I just want you to ask you a favor too. If you had a good time, anybody that would be an interesting guest for me, give them my digits. We'll have them on the show either in person or by Zoom, like we have you.
I can think of a few people that would probably love to join.
That's perfect. Just give them my digits and tell them, and then once the show is up, we'll share it with the world. All right. Do you have anything coming up in the next, few weeks that you might have missed, that you want to mention, that you might have overlooked?
Oh yeah, actually, I should probably mention coming up, Justin Clancy, who is actually a photographer, musician out of Boston, Massachusetts, is going to be touring and doing 2 shows on the 24th and the 25th at the Middle East.
In Cambridge?
They're in Cambridge. They're almost sold out.
That's in February, right?
Yep, February 24th and 25th, and then he's going to be touring with Chris Webby, so he's not going to be back around for a while.
Okay, I believe that's going to be Saturday, and that's going to be on a Saturday and Sunday, or a Friday and Saturday, actually.
Friday and Saturday, next Friday and Saturday.
Okay, all right. Well, Ryan, we're gonna wrap the show up now. I'm gonna ask one more favor.
Yeah, no.
You just stick around and do a picture or two for Facebook for posterity to show that you were on that you were on with me. All right, folks, we're gonna wrap it up now. See you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll signing off. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.